Hi everyone! Happy Monday. Just going to give it a few more minutes for people to jump on. I think we've got some viewers. If you're here, leave me a comment. Say hi. Let me know you're watching with me. I always love to interact with you. If you have questions as we go, certainly put it in the comments, and if I can't get to it live, I will go back and answer your questions afterwards. I'm so happy to be here. We're in the final stretch of the holiday season. I've got my antlers on. I had some jingle bells playing, and I've got a couple of great cards for you tonight that aren't Christmas related or holiday related. And I thought I would showcase maybe one of the new celebration products. So let's go ahead and get started. Just gonna make sure my light's on. I know last time we had some lighting issues, so if things get all distorted, please let me know. Hey, Michelle. All right. So we created with the Field of Flowers either last week or maybe the week before, and as soon as I saw this stamp set and started playing with it and saw this always, I had an idea pop into my head, and I hadn't had a chance to bring it to fruition until earlier today. And for all my Harry Potter lovers, hopefully this rings a bell. So this is the card I'm going to make with you. Hi, Sonia. Thanks for sharing. So this is the Doe Patronus, and of course the always, Professor Snape and Lily Potter. So I thought I would make this with you tonight. It's actually really, really easy. So what I've done is I've taken a piece of Balmy Blue cardstock that measures 8.5 by 4 1/4. We're going to fold it in half, and it's going to become a 4 1/4 by 4 1/4 square card. I'm just going to burnish my edges. And then I have a piece of basic black, which measures 3 3/4 by 3 3/4. And before I attach that to our base, we're going to do some heat embossing. So I'm going to pull in my Versamark and my white powder. And I have an embossing buddy, which we don't carry anymore, but it is one of my best friends when I'm embossing, because it just removes the static from your cardstock. And I've already put the always on my block. I'm using a H block for this. So I'm just going to ink up the always using the Versa, and I'm going to stamp it across the top of the basic black. And if you've never used Versamark before, it's just a watermark ink, so you can see it kind of shimmering there. So what we want to do is then take our white embossing powder and sprinkle it over top of where we stamped. And then you just want to tap off the excess. And you can see that even though I used the embossing buddy, I still have excess on there. So just give it a good tap, get as much of that off as possible. And if you still have some left, if you take a dry water painter brush or any kind of paintbrush that you might have, and just brush off carefully the excess. So that when we go to set it, you don't have all of these little dots all over the place. Just brushes those off. And then we're going to pull in our heat tool, and we're going to set the powder. Before I do that, I'm going to put my excess powder away so I don't set that by mistake. Just put the lid back on there. Hi, Pam. All right. So it's going to be a little bit loud. I apologize. I'll try and do this under my desk so you can't really hear it. Actually, Okay, so the heat tool just sets the powder, and it's now a lovely raised sentiment on that basic black. And you can go ahead now and attach that to the card base using your Stampin' Seal. Should leave about 1/4 of an inch border all the way around. Give it a good push. So that's nice and attached to our base. So then the next step is to create our little dough Patronus. So I'm going to use the deer from the North Pole Wonder dies. So this is in the the June to December mini catalog, which ends at the end of the month. So I'm using this little guy here to create our dough. And I'm using the Balmy Blue glimmer paper, also from the June to December mini catalog. And so we're going to use our Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. So I've got a 1, a 2, we're going to put a 3 down and then put our die on top of the paper, and then a second 3 right on top, and then I'm going to run it through the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. And when I pull that out, there is our dough. So I'm just going to put these to the side. Aw, Pam, I'm glad you love to watch me craft. You should join in the fun sometime. And so to attach this to our card base, I'm going to use some Stampin' Dimensionals. And I'm just using full-size dimensionals on this. So I'm going to use 1 towards the back end, and then 1 up here by the head. We're just going to peel off the back as they are double-sided. And you're going to stick that on your base. Now you could do it more in the center, you could do it to the side. Let's do this one more in the center here, just to change it up a little bit. And then I'm going to finish it off with some rhinestones. You know me and my bling. So I am going to use the Take Your Pick tool, and I just changed my putty end, so it's a little harder to manage at the moment. So we're just going to give it a little bit of bling to finish it off. And so there we have my Harry Potter inspired card using Field of Flowers and North Pole Wonder dies. What do you think about that? Do I have any Harry Potter fans watching? As soon as I created it, my oldest daughter said, "Mom, I'm getting that card when you're done." So she already has plans for it. I suspect my youngest daughter will also steal one, and I can see that there will be more of these in my future. So that's card number 1. So for card number 2, I'm just going to tidy up here so I can bring that in. I didn't create a sample, but I am going to use a new stamp set. So this is a celebration stamp set. It's one that you'll be able to get for free beginning in January. On January 5th, the new mini catalog and celebration begins. So we are going to use Approaching Perfection, and we're going to use the balloon, we're going to use the candles, and we're going to use the happy birthday. And I also haven't assembled this stamp set yet because I thought it would be a good opportunity to maybe refresh some of you on how to do that. So when you purchase our stamp sets, when they are cling like this one, you can see that it's pre-cut rubber and you have to assemble. So we're going to pop it out of the rubber. It just pops out like so. And then your cling stickers have little perforations, so we're just going to pull the perforation here, like so. And then I'm going to peel the back off the rubber. And I use the outline on the sticker to line up the rubber. And then when I pull, there's our stamp. So we're going to do the same thing with the balloon. Pull the perforation apart. Got our little balloon image. We're going to pull the back off. Line that up. There's our balloon, and last but not least, our happy birthday. So those are the three that we're using. So for this card, I'm going to start with a Whisper white base, measuring 8.5 by 5.5. Folded in half to be 5.5 by 4.25. And again, burnish my edges. And I have a piece of Coastal Cabana, and this one measures 3.5 by 4 3/4. So 3.5 by 4 3/4. And then my Whisper white measures 3 3/4 by 5. And we are going to mount the Coastal Cabana onto the Whisper white, but we're going to do some stamping on the Coastal first. So let's pull out our candles. And I'm going to pull in my B block. And just a reminder, it's a good idea to have the smallest block that the stamp fits on to prevent you from being tempted to rock. For my balloon, I'm going to pull in a G block. And for my happy birthday, I could probably use my B, but I'm going to pull in a C. And with my sentiments, I like to turn my block diagonally so that I'm not fooled by the lines of the block. And then I'm going to pull in my Memento black ink, but I also want Coastal Cabana. So what we're going to do is ink up our candles, and we are going to randomly stamp those across our background. And I'm not too worried about the center portion because we're going to cover that up. And then we're going to pull in a piece of Whisper white, and this measures 1 1/4 inches by 3.5 inches, and it's going to fit on a piece of basic black that measures 1 3/4 inches by 3.5 inches, and it's going to layer on top of our card like so. But first we want to stamp on our Whisper white. So put your Coastal Cabana aside and pull in your balloon. And here we get to have some fun because we're going to create different heights for our balloons. And odd numbers are always more appealing to the eye, so I'm going to start as close to the middle as I can with balloon number 1. There we have our balloons. And of course we need to have some color. So I'm pulling in my blends, and I'm going to pull in some fun bright colors. So I've got Melon Mambo, I have Pool Party because it's as close to Coastal Cabana as I can get in a blend. I have Highland Heather, and I have Daffodil Delight. And you can color those any way you want. I'm going to start with a Melon Mambo. And I like to start with the dark and then go in with the light. what I love about blends is you can really create depths of color with them. So there's our melon. Let's go in with our Pool Party. So again, I'm going in with the dark first, and then coming in with the light to blend it out. And you'll notice that my Melon Mambo has actually frayed a little bit because I got too close to the line. So when you're coloring, you want to try and stay in from the line because it will bleed out a little bit. This is Highland Heather. I'm going to do another one in Pool Party down this end. And last but not least, we've got our daffodil. Blend that in. Like so. So once you have your balloons all colored, you can attach that to the basic black piece using your Stampin' Seal. And it's going to attach edge to edge along the sides, but it's going to leave that nice 1/8 of an inch border top and bottom. And then you can figure out where you want that placed on the Coastal Cabana. Use it as a guideline because then we're going to come back in with our Coastal Cabana and our happy birthday. And we're going to stamp our sentiment on the card like so. But before we attach our basic black, you want to pull in a wink of Stella pen if you have one. And this is like one of our water painters. And it is so fun to use and to add some fun embellishments to. So all I'm doing is tapping it on my finger to create some splatters on the card base. And there's really no right or wrong here. It's just a whatever you think works for you. So I think I like that. And you just want to let that dry. So I'm going to use my heat tool on low heat to set that, or to help it along. Just to help it dry a little bit better. So it's not totally dry, but we can work with that. So now we're going to attach our basic black piece to the base. And again, we're just using our Stampin' Seal. It's going to apply right on top. So again, right over where we stamped our happy birthday. Should line up nice and neat. And then we're going to use Stampin' Dimensionals. Actually, we're going to attach that directly to the Whisper White first, the matte, and then we're going to use Stampin' Dimensionals to attach that to our card base. So once again, just our Stampin' Seal. directly to that Whisper White mat. So, and now we're going to use those dimensionals to attach this to our card base. And it should have that nice 1/4 inch border just to give it some dimension. And then I wanted to add a little something extra to this. So I pulled out my linen thread, but it doesn't really work in terms of colors. So I'm going to create my own color. So I'm going to pull in my dark Melon Mambo blend, and I had a little scrap on the go, which eludes me now, so we're going to start all over again. And I'm going to take a piece of the linen thread, and I don't know what happened to my spool, but we're going to work with it. So I'm just going to cut off a piece. It doesn't have to be very long. And I'm going to pull in, like I said, the dark Melon Mambo. So you can color your linen thread. Darker colors obviously work best. And we're just going to use the brush tip and run it along the thread to create our custom color. So I want that nice pop of Melon Mambo. And it dries pretty quickly because it is an alcohol-based marker. So no real messy fingers at the end of this. Just going to run it across until you get that desired color. Like so. And then I'm going to tie a bow . So I did rush it a little bit. I do have Melon Mambo on my fingers here. And I'm going to attach a bow to my balloon. Right about there. I'm going to pull in glue dots to do that. Get that positioned where you want it, and then you can cut off your tails. And there we have our second card of the night, using the new Approaching Perfection, which you can get for free during celebrations starting January 5th. So there are the 2 projects tonight. I hope you've enjoyed them. I'm going to come back over here so I can talk to you for a moment. So as I mentioned, celebration and the new catalogs start on the 5th of January. This is the beautiful cover for the new catalog. I promise you, you won't be disappointed. It's got so many beautiful stamp sets and papers inside. And of course, celebration, everybody's favorite time of year. And again, chock full of fabulous free products that you can earn during the month of January and February. It's also a great time to host a party if you haven't, or if your wish list is really long and you want to try and get some of that for free, hosting a party, even virtually. I do all the work, you just invite your friends. It's a great time to do that, or to join my team of amazing stampers. My team is called Shut Up and Stamp because, well, that's what we like to do. And it's a great time to join. You can get $165 worth of products for $135. There's no tax and shipping when you're in Ontario. You get to pick the products you want. So you can pick a Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine if you wanted. You could pick all dies. You could pick all stamp sets, whatever combination you want, totaling $165. And when you join during celebration, you're also going to get 5 packs of designer series paper. You're going to get the Regals, the Subtles, the Brights, and the Neutrals, as well as the 2020-2022 in colors. So that's 5 packs of paper that you're going to get absolutely free when you join my team during celebration. So food for thought, just a little something for you to mull over. If you don't have a demonstrator and you live in Canada and you'd like a copy of the catalogs, please send me a message and I will get them in the mail to you. You're going to get both. Oops. My camera's over here. Celebration and the mini catalog. I will get those in the mail to you. You just have to send me a PM with your address details so I can get them out to you. And after this video, I will also be posting the details for my new and improved card club. I'm so excited to get it back up and running. It's been several years since I've had a card club, and it's about time that we get it going again. Many of you have actually asked for it, so there's some changes, obviously because of COVID, but I'm excited to get it up and running for January. So that will go up after the live tonight. Thank you all for joining me. I hope you had fun. I certainly did. I will be here again next Monday, the 28th, crafting with all of you. If there's something you'd like to see, leave me a comment and I will see what I can do. And until then, I hope you all have a very Merry Christmas if you celebrate, and definitely enjoy the holiday season. Thanks so much.